Good morning, jr.3. How are you today? Today we have a new lesson which is called Habitats. What is the meaning of habitats, jr.3? Habitats mean the habitats consists of living organisms and non-living things. Living organisms, jr.3, like humans, plants, animals, all of these, they are called living organisms. But non-living things like rocks, sun, chair, ball, door, and so on. All of these are called non-living things. So any area containing living organisms and non-living things, it's called habitats. Okay, junior 3. In this lesson, we will talk about our different habitats. We have many types of habitats like polar habitat, rainforest habitat, grassland habitat, and wetlands habitat. Okay, let's talk about number one, polar habitat. In the polar habitat, junior 3, ice covers large parts. In the polar habitat, ice covers large parts. There is more amount of ice. So the weather in the polar habitat is cold and windy. Yes, it's very cold and windy, like this picture. In the animals in the polar habitat, like polar bear, penguin, and whale. The animals that live in the polar habitat are polar bear, penguin, and whale. The plant that's found in the polar habitat is moss and shrubs. Moss like this, shrubs like this. Okay, the small tree. Shrubs means small trees. So, junior 3, the polar habitat where the ice covers large amount. The weather in the polar habitat is windy and cold. The animals that live in the polar habitats are polar bear, penguin, and whale. The plant that find in the polar habitat is moss and shrubs. The plants that are found in the polar habitat are moss and shrubs. The habitat number 2 is called rainforest habitat. In the rainforest habitat is full of trees. It's full of trees. So let's talk about the weather in the rainforest are rainy and warm. Okay? The plants that are found in the rainforest habitats are tall trees and plants that have big leaves. Tall trees and plants have big leaves. Tall trees like this and plants have big leaves. The animals that the animals that live in the rainforest habitats are monkey, frogs, and snakes. Okay, junior 3, again, the habitat number 2 is called rainforest habitat, which is full of trees. The weather in the rainforest, rainy and warm. The plants that are found in the rainforest habitat is the plants that are found in the rainforest habitats are tall trees and plants have big leaves. The animals that live in the rainforest habitats are monkey, frogs, and snakes. Let's talk about number 3, the grassland habitat. Which has dry and flat area of land. Dry, junior 3, means there is no water more here. Okay? And flat area like the floor. Okay? Let's talk about the weather. In some grassland, we have two types in this grassland. Some grassland, the weather is warm all the year. Some grassland, the weather is warm all the year. And another grassland, the weather is warm in the summer, cold in winter. There is in the grassland habitat. Grassland habitat. We have two types of the grassland. Some grassland is warm all the year, and another grassland uh, hot in the summer, warm in the summer, cold in the winter. Warm in the summer, cold in the winter. The plants that are found in the grassland habitat, like tall grass and bushes. This is bushes. Okay, junior 3, bushes. Bushes. Okay, the animals that are found on the grassland habitat are rabbits, lions, and cheetah. Rabbits, lions, cheetah. Okay, junior 3. So let's make a quick revision. We have number 1, habitat number 1 is called polar habitat. The weather is cold and windy. Cold and windy. The animals that are found in the polar habitat, like polar bear, penguin, and whale. The plants that are found in the polar habitat are shrubs and moss. Shrubs and moss. The number 2, it's called rainforest habitat. Rainforest habitat, which is full of trees. The weather, rainy and warm. Rainy and warm. The plants that are found in the rainforest are tall trees, and the plants have big leaves. Tall trees and the plants have big leaves. The animals that are found in the rainforest, monkey, frogs, and snake. Monkey, frogs, and snake. Number 3, the grassland habitat, which is dry and flat area. The weather is, we have two types. Some grassland is warm all the year, and another grassland is warm in the winter, warm in the summer, cold in winter. The plants that are found in the grassland habitat are tall grass and bushes. Tall grass and bushes. The animals are rabbits, lions, and cheetah. Okay? We talk about number 4, wetlands habitat. Wetland habitat, when the fresh water or salt water and land meet together to forming swamps. Junior 3, swamps make it's like the lake, when the, like this picture, okay, when the land meet fresh water or salt water to forming swamps. In the wetland habitat, the weather warm or cold. Warm or cold. The plants that are found in the wetland habitat can grow at the top of the water or under the water. We can find the plant in on the top of the water or under the water. Okay. The animals that are found in the wetland habitat, like turtle and frogs. Turtle and frogs. Okay, junior 3, thank you. Okay, junior 3, let's start to solve the exercise. Let's complete the following. Number 1, plants in the grassland are, the plants in grassland habitat are, yes, tall grass and bushes. Tall grass and bushes. Okay, junior 3, number 2, dots and dots can live in wetlands habitat. Which animals can live in the wetlands habitat? Yes, super turtle and frogs. Turtle and frogs. Number 3, the weather in the rainforest habitat is, the weather in the rainforest habitat is, yes, rainy and warm. Rainy and warm. Number 4, which is one of the animals that live in the polar habitat? Yes, we have polar bear, penguin, and whales. Write anyone. Okay. Number 5, dots and dots are from the habitats. You can write any two. We have polar habitat, wetland habitat, rainforest habitat, and grassland habitat. Okay, junior 3, we have a homework. Solve the weekend sheet number 10 in the weekend sheet booklet. Thank you.